is known to Gaurav Luthra. Yeah. I mean, I think nowadays, whenever you switch on your computer, you see him. He's become that popular. And good to have you here, Gaurav, and take us through your steps.
Thank you for inviting me.
Incision closure.
Okay, so I hope my video is already with you. Otherwise,
yes,
I didn't pull it out.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks. Thank you so much for calling me, Dr. Chitra, Dr. Ramamurthy, sir.
Mr. Sunil, can you please start, Dr. Gaurav?
Mr. Sunil?
Should Gaurav share his screen?
No, Mr. Sunil, can
start. Share.
Perfect. Thank you. So can we go to the video? I only have videos, so. Okay.
Gaurav,
can you just play that and just mute the sound? If there is any sound, you can mute that.
And
but
Gaurav,
just run the video, please.
You have to tell next for him to go on to the next video because
you're sure, ma'am. Yeah. Can you please play this? So this is a patient with operated multi-cut RK. Can you mute the music there?
Please mute the sound for all the videos. Please mute the sound. We don't want it for any video.
Please play it. So you can see that this is a RK operated patient with multi-cut RKs, and I always prefer to do a femto-assisted cataract surgery for RK operated patients because that way my rhexis is already done. Usually these patients have a very deep chamber, and you want minimum manipulations inside the eye. So having cleavage planes on the nucleus is also a big help, especially in hard cataracts like this, so that your manipulations and the amount of energy used inside the eye is minimized. And contrary to what we might think about capsulotomy being I don't see the video playing. Is it advancing for you?
No.
It's stuck. It's stuck for some reason. Yeah.
Stopped.
It's stuck.
It's working.
So you have to be very careful because the capsular tags may be there, but the rhexis is usually very good, and rhexis can be done very well even in RK eyes, but obviously a little bit of extra care. Now, actually, I wish I could have queued this video myself. It's moving so slowly for some reason.
I think, sir, better would be to share the slide,
So right now, I don't even have my videos ready for me because I thought I've mailed them. I didn't keep them ready myself. Anyway, I think we are going fine now. So they're all short clips, 2-3 clips. So I think once this is done, the main emphasis of my talk today was that, it's always a challenge to, inject the lens. And then, of course, the incision can be a little leaky. So you are seeing that I'm doing a hydroimplantation here. And once the lens is inside and you have the lens into the bag, you can position it. And now the challenge is to seal the wound because especially with RKIs, there will be a challenge to seal them. And here what I'm doing is that I'm leaving my infusion on from the side port, and I am able to hydrate the wounds. And then the last one. And then to check the integrity of these wounds, I use this Siedel's test. First, I'm just gently touching it with the finger as Dr. Blumenthal taught. And then just put a drop of trypan blue. Now this picks up leaks from the wound very nicely. And you can see one of my wounds on the paracentesis wounds is still looking a little bit leaky. I put one drop here and suddenly you see a gush of aqueous coming out. So if you notice any small gush of aqueous from any of the wounds, you can just hydrate it again. Can we go to the next video, please? So this is one very good way of checking for the integrity of the wound. You're doing a Siedel's trypan blue test. Now this is a small video. ICLs typically require you to make a bigger incision. So with ICLs, you can have can you play it please? A 3.5 millimeter incision is ideal for an ICL. Please play it, yeah. I think it's slow. It's playing slowly for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I think from the admin, it should not play slowly. It doesn't matter.
I know. I understand. So same thing that we saw there, here what I'm doing is I have a small leaky wound. So rather than struggle, you don't want a suture there anyway. And if you keep struggling when trying to seal a wound, sometimes, you can keep doing it for minutes. Go and make a supraincisional tunnel. This is like a Wong incision. And I can just hydrate that tunnel with can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
You can hear me. So this again, the trypan blue test, and this is my third small video clip where this is a pediatric cataract. So again, pediatric cataracts, if the child is very small, like 1 or 2 years, I would never leave them unsutured. But anything over 4 years, I first try to see if I can do the same process here. I make a supraincisional small tunnel. So you can see that this is a small pediatric eye, and I'm trying to see that my wounds, whether they would seal or not. And here the integrity of wound is very critical, because in pediatric cataracts, you cannot afford to take a chance at all. So a trip and blue test, always I do. This is like you can see that there's a small leak from the side port, and I'm not happy about it. So what I'm going to do is try and seal that again. If that doesn't work, it's very slow. It's moving like at a very slow pace.
Cogwheel
So anyway, I'm trying to seal the wound, and I think it's better if you play it yourself. Somehow it works better like that. It should have worked better like this, but anyway. So that trip and blue test that shows you that it did not work. So even a side port, you can make a supraincisional small pocket there as well. So what I wanted to show here was that not only does this work on the main port, it also works beautifully on the side port, and then you can put a drop of trip and blue. So I think these two things put together, they solve a lot of problems where you have leaky incisions, leaky main ports, leaky side ports, and then checking the integrity, because trip and blue is freely available on everybody's set. Can you move on to the next if there is a video? I don't know if there is. I think you can move to the next slide, please. I think you're again showing the same slide. Can you move to the next video if there is any? Okay, so this is the last one, again, a small clip. Here again, it was a very difficult situation. There was chemosis, there was a leaky wound, and there was a lot of iris prolapse. So I'm pushing that back, using a jet maneuver, trying to seal the wound. And sometimes, in spite of your best efforts, the wound will not seal. At this point, you can sometimes use air. Can you advance the video a little bit for me? Like go to midway so that it saves time, because then I'll only have 10 more seconds to finish. So I'm checking, but the wound is not helped. So you saw me put my finger. This I learned from Dr. Blumenthal. There's nothing better than to use your finger to just gently test whether the IOP is, the eye is tight or not. So again, very leaky wound, air did not get retained. So I've gone and made the Wong incision kind of supraincisional pocket. I've just hydrated it once, and I have a perfectly sealed wound. And you can see that I'm stabilizing the globe in the left hand with my infusion on, and that also makes sure that the eye is tight. And now I'm doing the trip and blue test. So sometimes when you're stuck in bad situations where you have a leaky wound, the air is not helping, nothing seems to work. I think I'm done. Can you stop sharing it so that we can go on to the next presenter? My idea is to, I think my message is conveyed. Yeah.